So we'll go through a few slides and then we'll do a local setup within the Docker with Sitecore topology, and we'll create a component using the ASP.NET Core. So moving forward, I have set up the agenda, so we'll have the clear view what we are planning to do. We'll discuss about this Sitecore community update, a quick update, what is going on, and then we'll discuss how this Sitecore ASP.NET Core will impact your existing XM or the XP topology. And we'll discuss about the .NET rendering SDK. We'll do the demo and how it will impact the developer flow, like what would be the developer flow, and the development, how we can start the development, and benefit of using the ASP.NET Core with the Sitecore, and what feature are not supported at this moment, and a few tips which when I was doing all these things, I found a few issues. So I will try to make sure that I will give all the tips which I found during these changes, and then we'll take all the questions and answers. Okay, so next slide is basically about the community. So I would like to encourage all of us, like if anyone is new to the Sitecore platform. So these are the high level, the links which you can connect if you are, let's say, trying to set up Sitecore 10 with different things. So these are the links you can use. You can connect through the Stake Exchange, Sitecore Select channels, and there's a common repository for the user group. So that's where you can connect. And there's a very good post on the last point, which is all the details. Now, next one, what is new? Like what is going on in the community, right? So the Sitecore DX ANZ event is planned for 24th of November 2020. So if you want to see or want to understand more in depth about the Sitecore and the discussion about the businesses, so this is a free event. You guys can register and you can attend that event online. Okay, so that's about the Sitecore. Let's start our development. So for the Sitecore 10, when we are saying the ASP.NET Core rendering SDK, so we would need to understand these three pillars, right? So one is the Docker. So Docker is the key part with the Sitecore 10. So you can, easily do the development. You don't need to install all the setup on your machines, the traditional way which we were doing. So I will again highly encourage go and install Sitecore 10 through the Docker, and you will feel good things about this, like the rapid development on that. The second point is Sitecore headless content. So this ASP.NET Core is pretty much familiar with all of us. Like if we work with the JSS framework, so it's more about when we were using the Angular and React. So this would be similar. Like now we can use the ASP.NET Core with this new platform, right? And then there are a lot of benefits which I will talk later. But at the high level, it's lightweight. Now you can debug all your code from the single platform, and then you can increase your productivity, right? And the third one is the traffic. So this is a type of reverse proxy which generates and map the URL. So as we know that with the Sitecore 10 now, the Sitecore is moving toward the cloud computing, Docker, and the Kubernetes. So this would help to manage those URL and the proxy. So these three would be key area of discussion for today's session. So let's start further. So the next slide is about the expense management overall architecture flow. So if you see, so the current flow, if I can highlight something from here, I think I do. Okay, I got the highlighter. So so this is, if you today, if you want to set up Sitecore in the Kubernetes and the Docker, so this would be the very simple structure. You will have one identity server, one content delivery server, and one content management server, right? Again, Solar, Redis, and the database. It's a very simple flow, and then the traffic will comes at the top to manage the URL. So pretty simple. Now, how this Sitecore ASP.NET Core rendering will fit into the XM platform, right? So for that, I would go to the next slide, which will, okay, you can see the yellow highlighted part, right? So this ASP.NET rendering host will comes here as an image, .NET Core image, which will run under the again the container with the same container, and then the request comes in. It will get data from content delivery as a JSS data, and then the content will be served to the end user. Now, this is a new second pattern, the experience platform pattern. So generally with this, we have a few additional things, right? So this, you can see identity server is there, content delivery is there, content management is there, same, Redis is the same, indexes are the same, database are the same. But these are more about when we go with the experience platform for the analytics and the reporting and the XDP part. Now, how this ASP.NET Core will fit into the XP platform. So for that, if we go to the next slide, so this, hope you guys can see. Just let me know if am I not audible or something. So here on the yellow highlighted, it's the same. Now traffic will control the URLs within the Kubernetes, or and then the traffic will come to ASP.NET rendering host. So it would be the front facing part, and the content delivery will serve the content. Now let's try to understand the flow. So the flow is the browser from the user from the public section, like it could be device or anything, will send the request, and here we'll have the rendering SDK, the core SDK with resources. Like if you want to add .NET Core, any resources, front end, scripts or some request goes to, let me put the highlighter. So the request will goes here, and from here, the content will be served, let's say from the JSS, and then from here, the content with the resources will be served to the end user. So that is the high level flow. Now let's go into the next slide. So now from here, let me move into the next slide. Okay, now to install this complete setup, right? It looks like we need a few delivery server, Solar, and a lot of things inside the Docker. So we would need to download all the images. So these are the prerequisites. So we need to make sure that we have .NET Core 3.1 SDK installed on your machine, .NET Framework 4.8 SDK, Visual Studio 2019, and the Docker for Windows. Make sure that once we install the Docker, the container should be enabled on the window platform, and the PowerShell version 5.1. PowerShell 7 is not supported yet. Now, the next is how we can do the setup on our machine, right? So to do that, it's a very, very straightforward and very simple few commands. You would need to run these commands. So .NET new, and I need to set up this template. So there is a template available from the Sitecore, so which will give a startup point project already set up there. So we can take a reference from there. And in second line, you will see like what name of the project we want to create. You will just provide the name of the project. And in the third is install.ps, the PowerShell script. You will provide the license path and you will pass the password. This is third part. And the fourth one is you will just run the up PowerShell script and rest will be taken care automatically. This command will download all the images, traffic, and then it will start your Sitecore instance. Okay, now Docker Compose up, and then you can see a screen below. So this is screen, if I can again highlight. So this is screen, this instance is the Sitecore instance. This is in debug mode of ASP.NET Core. This is a page, and this is my Docker, and this is the Visual Studio. So let's just start the demo so we can get in more details. So it's time for demo. So let me share my screen. Let me pull this out. So from here, now you can see I have this Docker instance on my local. There is so what we would need to do, we need to open PowerShell. So this is my PowerShell window. From here, as I said, you would need to go to your root folder. So whatever is the root folder which you have decided to go. So in my case, my root folder is in the C drive. So I will just copy the path and I'll go CD. I will go to my project. I will go to rendering host, and then I will go to my ran that command, and I got the project. When you run the command, you will see the similar project on your machine, which would be this one. And so this will be a simple project which will come with the part of the template. So now what you would need to do here is, as I mentioned, that you will download, you will run the PowerShell script, which will download the images and it will spin up the instance. Because I have already downloaded, so I will just run this PowerShell script now. So it's in progress. So I will keep open this container so we can see adding inside the container, right? So now you can see one container coming in my Docker, and this script is still running. Okay, I think take 1 minute. So for now, I will start discussing few things, few error which I found when I was doing that setup. So you would see here, if you can see my screen. So there are a few with the default template for, you will see there is a, and in each folder there is a Docker file. So the first error to the .NET SDK Docker file. When I was trying to run this project, uh, somehow I was not able to run within the container, and there's a simple fix for that. I just block for that also. So let me put. Okay, so this script, if you can see, let me increase the size. Okay, so because .NET, when you run the .NET cells, you have to explicitly define the cell. So if you see the line, you are explicitly in the select channel. I found that one person from the community has already made the fix. So that's good. Now I'm waiting for this to come through this container. So okay. So now you can see starting. So one side the container, which is the solar, now it's coming up. Second was is the and we can see the port configuration. So if you see for the solar, if I click on this one, um, we can see all and then we go back to the container and I will watch for other instances. Okay, we can see from here, let's size if I can do. Okay. So, okay. Now from here, my script is still running. Now, and two are still in progress. So let's wait for maybe 1 more minute. So, so the second problem which you may face that you would need to make sure if you are running any site your local machine within the IIS, because these are running within the container. They have their own internal, but we need to make sure that even if you have Sitecore running on your local machine, the port number 443 and the 3 for the solar, that should be free. You need to check the port number. If it already exists, you need to stop it, that port. So the second error which I got that Sitecore 10 install, and on the identity server, basically not here. If I go to the binding, so 443, and because of that, the traffic was failing to run under the container. Stop it, and then it started working. So we need to make sure that ports are available for the Docker. So now I can see. Um, so this project is for Solar. This is for SQL, and this is for Identity Server Sitecore instance, which is running inside the container. And this is the main um, the .NET Core rendering project inside the container, and these all talks to each other through this, Terraform. So I'm waiting for this container. Where is my okay. Hope you guys can see my screen and I'm audible. If that is not the case, just let me know and then we can figure out. So
Yeah, Jitendra, we can see your screen and you are audible.
yeah, thanks you. Okay, so let's not let's discuss more things. So two-way. One is, of course, we can run the whole Sitecore 10 with ASP.NET Core, And I would highly recommend, like, we should go and try that approach. It's a pretty simple, and then something. The second approach, which is again a classic approach, where you would install the Sitecore 10 on your IIS instance, and then you would set up Solar, Xconnect, and then database server. So in that option available with um, following the Helix architecture. So this project, this template, I'm still creating. I can show you. Uh, this is my project, and then second, let me open this project. If I can, let me bring this to a different. Okay, so this project you can download from the GitHub. Lines with the Helix structure. So you can download and start using this one. I'm trying to get this one with the template. So there's two projects available. So now coming here, now I can see the worker processes are restarted my machine, so it's taking. Okay. Okay. Still, it's loading. Let's try a few more things. So I just wanted to show you. I have these instances. Let me open mm, things here. Mhm. Still taking some time. Let me see if Solar is up and running. So to do that, basically, you can try this instance from here. Try to open this Solar maybe in a new browser. Okay, still it's not running. Um, okay, let me see if the site is up or not. I will make sure that my site stopped. Okay, because this identity server is running. Okay, let's stop it, and we'll come back again. So, um, so this was the demo, and I will come back again. Maybe will take a moment if it's taking time. Uh, then I'll just start script again because this container are already running, so it won't do again. It will just run for the pending one. Starting the Sitecore instance. These are all equal. Let's connect the search worker, and now I think it's trying to set up the traffic, and because maybe my identity server was running, so it was trying to figure out that port. So now I have stopped it, so it should come up very fast now. Okay, let's continue with the presentation, and then we'll come back on. So so the next slide, in case if you find any issue, as I mentioned, two issue I found, and I already written a blog for that. So you can check out this blog. Um, if you have any additional questions, so I even posted in the selection reply, so you can get help from there. And of course, keep what because the .NET Core, there's a lot of things going on, a lot of PR. So if you find useful, try to put a comment and try to contribute on the open source GitHub project. So, so my next slide is for the developer flow. So now what will change for the developer, right? So doing that, we were changing in the Visual Studio, and if we were using, let's say, the on pushing that changes and the content through the CI/CD to a different environment. So that was the flow we were following. Now with the new Sitecore 10, the flow would be the developer will work on the MS build with the Docker build, and he was which will manage the content. It's like we were using the unicorn, but this is Sitecore CLI where you can push and play with the content, and then the Visual Studio. Let me check. Now you can see uh, I on my machine. Okay, so it's asking that I should uh, I should log into the Sitecore instance. So it has opened this instance. Let me try. I think I should. Okay. Now log in here. Okay. So it's this script is waiting for me to allow all the process once this CM instance, and now I need to validate offline access. The moment I will say yes, then you would see in the PowerShell script. Uh, now it will get the response, and now it will be up and running. So okay, So if I okay, let's wait for a few more minutes and let's continue our slides. Okay, so um, and then we'll come back again. So the developer flow, as I mentioned, that we would work on the Docker, and now it would be very easy. All our changes, if you want to uh, publish your changes, if you want to uh, see it, just one line of command. So I will show you once this demo would be up and running. Uh, and this next slide is the benefit of using ASP.NET Core with the Sitecore, right? So the first is, of course, it's a super fast. And as I said, it's really easy. So now you can debug your code. And in the .NET Core, there is an option for watcher. So the moment you make any change in your view, it will sync to your Docker, like where the volume, it would be sync, and then you would see immediately your changes within the Docker. Rapid development, of course, it will save a lot of time for the development. We all know that, working on the Sitecore and the Sitecore, and to sync all the developer, with the latest changes, there is, sometimes it takes time. So with the up the new instance, and then you can work on that. Cloud enabled by default. So if you want to move this on the Kubernetes, so it's easy to do, easy deployment. You have your created your, you can create your images, you can Docker and the Kubernetes. Now the next slide is, I will pause it here. Let me check again. Uh, you can see Sitecore instance is up. So if I log into Sitecore, which is Sitecore, my bad, why it's saying this one. Okay. I don't know, it's getting very slow. I'm not running any build on my local, but maybe this content, it pushed some content. So, and before this meeting, I just restarted all the system to make sure that it happens. So let's wait for this one to, comes up. Okay, let's continue with the slide, and we'll keep this one again. So now what is not supported, right? So is this is with the Sitecore 10, the whole ASP.NET Core, edit frames, Sitecore forms, and invocation of Xconnect with the event goal, and with the C sharp, again manage cloud standard and manage cloud support the headless topology of rendering host. So it Dockerize approach. You can create a Docker and push your Kubernetes. things which are not supported. I was trying to create a goal from this project through offline XConnect initializer and through this cold trigger event. So I will let you know that. So these are the few tips for the development. I would prefer PPT slide. So now you can see this Sitecore instance is up and running. Wow, finally. Okay, so now this Sitecore instance is running inside the container, and now you can see this traffic is up and running, which is pointing to 443. Okay, as I said that you shouldn't have this port here. So now a few things. First, let's create a new component, and then we'll see like what is the things which developer should take care. Okay, it's very slow. Let me see if my Solar, which is running inside, up and running. Let me open a new incognito. Okay, okay. This Solar is running inside the container. The same. Okay, great. Wow. So this is also running inside the container, and you can see, all this mapping of it's up and running. And if you want to see the path, it's pointing inside the C drive. But don't try to find on your physical machine in the C drive. It's inside the container. Container has its own space of the volume, so it's running inside the container. So that's a part of that. So let me see. Okay, okay. Will come with a default project, and then now we would create a new template. This is just a sample. I'm not. It's not Helix compliant. So I will just create just one component. So at least we can get some out of this call. So for the project, I will quickly go and create a new template. So let's say the new template. If I have some things handy. So okay. So new template. Let's say I will create data source. Okay, it's getting very slow. Okay, I'll add few fields. This is my section, and then I will add few field. Let's say title, single line text. I will add say rich text, and I will add one field should be image. Maybe one more field which is promo link, which would be a general link, and last would be, let's say, the date. So example date, which would be the date field. Okay, I will save it this time. Okay, let's define the standard value. I will just set up few values here. So title, I will just put, let's say, name. Body text, I will just put a default value. Okay, simple body text. And feature image, it's getting very slow. Okay. Okay, I will wait. Let's start here. I think if it is taking time, let's try to complete these things first. So, a few tips like how we can debug the code inside the. To be honest, when I was we are doing the change and how those file will go inside the container image, and then we would see running inside the container, because when you set up all this thing you won't see anything inside the eyes, right, which we used to see. So then I will let you know that in the Visual Studio you can set up your container, and inside the container you can see each and everything, like you can see the logs, you can see your files. We should use it. And the second is .NET Sitecore help command. You run that command, and then you will see all the possible commands that how you will use Sitecore content serializations and the publish things. Uh, the next slide, again, few commands how to log in. And the second is .NET Sitecore Ser push, how you will push your content. So this is very handy command. Again, for publish command. For serialize, there is two options. Either we can do from the command line tool, or there is a Visual Studio plugin available, which you can download. It's a need to get the license for that. Second, to be continuous, how you would debug this ASP.NET Core things on your machine. It's very simple. Just press the F5 button, and you would see the debugger is coming up. So that's good. Now, a few tips. Let's say if sometimes your Docker, your Compose is not working, your container is not responding. The Composer down, it will down all your container with all the images inside that, and then you can restart it, right? So that's the handy command. So I will now I'm just focus on this one. If we can, okay, now we got this images. So check this image. So now we got the image. This is a link. I will just put, let's say, google.com, and let's say, okay. So now we have created one template, and now I'm going to create one JSS component, and then we'll consume that component in the ASP.NET inside the layout. And within the layout, I will go inside the rendering. I will go in the project. So I'm just giving you will go in the foundation or the feature based on it or whatever your project structure allow you to do that, right? So for just this demo purpose, I'm just creating one JSS rendering. So this rendering, I will give a name example. Okay, now here I need to define um, my data source location, which would need to set up the path, which we have created the template path. So I will go here and I will choose my this template. Okay, so now we have created a template and that's very good. Now just define the placeholder settings, right? So in the and within the project, I can see this project setting is there. I will go allow it here. So I'll go in the rendering. Taking too much time. So I think the slide is done, and just for sake of time, I would also like to your demo as well as we can discuss if you have any questions also. So the rendering is here. Okay, I will allow this thing here. Okay, that's good. Now open this page, let's say within the uh, expense editor. Okay, till it's opening, I will start the project detail, so at least we can get the understanding. So the default project which will comes with the template, right? So if you see, uh, so this would be the structure, and now you can see there is a rendering host project which is to save the time. Basically, we need to define one model. So if I open this one, so we have created 5 fields as a template options in the Sitecore. So I have defined the same fields here. Once you define your model, you would need to define the view. So I have created and the Sitecore components. Make sure the name of this component the should align with your JSS component. So I have created a simple view here to get these fields from the JSS. And third step is you need to initialize your model. So here, if you see, you would define, you will initialize this model bound view. You will give it a name, and then you will give it a name here. You will give the class name of the model, and then you will define the name. Yeah, and that's it. And then now from here, Um, I will just, so this is startup. One more thing, for, let's say we were working on the JS and all the initializer. So in this DI part, you can see all the settings is, let me, options. I go, all other settings, right? So instance URL, what is the layout service path? What is the default site name? What is the API key? Because this instance is, because the way .NET Core framework. So these are the settings: API key, rendering host URL. I will define here. Okay, so that's what you do. Make any change. Let's say inside the view of this one, the immediately the watcher, the .NET Core watcher, will pick those changes and then will the Docker container volume place. So and then you, let me still, this is still thinking. I don't know why it's taking time today. Okay, so okay, so I was talking about this one, that how you would debug these things. So let me move this thing here slightly. So within the view, if you go to, and that's the container, right? So usually I would suggest keep this open, um, and now you can see all your container, right? So um, these are these are your container 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So these are running here. Instance here where you would see these changes, right? Because you those changes or not, and then how it, where you set up, you can set up Sitecore 10 on your IS machine, and then you can mount, like you can create a volume that whenever you push any changes to your IS folder, it will be pushed, like shared drive. It will push within the Docker image, and then you can see the inside the Docker container. So this changes directly goes there. So for the CM, so if you want to see any log, you see if you can see here. You can see where is your instance running. It's running on 80 port. The best example, Solar, which is you can see the files. This is very interesting that you would like to see the files, right? So this is your which has the complete mono like type of your OS system, which all the files, and then you will go to inetpub, um, and within the inetpub you will go to www root, and then you can see your project is there, right? So if you're making any change, so that's very useful. So so that's the second tips. This one is still loading. Okay, so I think we are running out of time. So what I would do now, I will just show you how to debug this project. Uh, Okay, this is still. Let me debug this. To debug this one, as I said, it's very fast and it's a fully integrated with the Visual Studio. That's the command here. So this is the .NET Core debugger window. Okay, started. Uh, my system is getting very slow, but okay. Now you can see this. Just paste this Visual Studio F5. You would see your project, and that's it. So now you can see this is the response from your um, existing one of the content block. I was expecting once we have this new JSS component, it would show you that component response. If I just put it, because this is the existing one, if I just put a debugger here or within the, which is a content block, if I just put a debugger here, this page, okay, now you can see it's very with ASP.NET Core, right? So all the value you can see this is it's setting the value. So this is the title, Sitecore Experience Platform, my project. It's coming from here, and okay, so now the piece show you and then how you can make the change. So I will stop the debugging here. Okay. Once this page would be loaded, I will add a new component, and the component which we have created as a JSS, which will come here. You can see your component. Now at the high level, now we have the full flexibility. We can define all after all the menu links items in the .NET Core. You just need to follow the JSS component. We can create the component there. We can define all our view here, and then we can start the project. I was creating a project here, which is XConnect. So what I was trying to do here, that I was trying to initialize the XConnect, the offline XConnect initializer, and I just wanted to use what it calls the goal part to see that if I was trying to trigger the infection of the component, and then we can also get the benefit of goal and the XConnect part. That's in progress. Hopefully, once this will work, I will push maybe on the GitHub. Let me refresh this one. It's shouldn't take that much time. Close my few windows from my machine. Okay, I think uh, I'm just trying to conclude what we have discussed today, and then we can discuss. So what we have discussed, that how to create a new component uh, uh, within the site core, and then how we can run all the site, and using the Docker, and then with the template we can define a new view, and then we can use the all nice from you guys. I think we're done for today. Okay, finally.
Hi, Jitendra.
I
Yeah, I'm having one question that as you explained that you are trying to set up in your local. So let's
Yep.
assume I have another Sitecore instance which is running on Solar port
Voice
8983
is
by default. This is Sumit. Hello, am I audible?
um, um yep,
Yeah.
between. Yeah. So what I understood, that you have some solar instance, right?
Yes. So I was just wondering about the scenario. Let's assume
Mm-hmm.
I am having a already installed Sitecore version, let's say 8.2 or any version, and with a
Mm-hmm.
local solar instance with 8983 port, and there is a SSL which is running on 4443 port, right?
Your voice is it's on and off. So what I understood,
Okay.
and uh, I didn't understand what was the port. What did you say?
So my basically I want to understand. Let's assume I am having running one instance, and I'll try to set up a Docker instance. Is it possible
Mm-hmm.
I should turn off those running ports? Then only I can use another instance. This is the case.
No, no, no. It's not the case. That's never be the case. So you always have an option to change the configuration of the traffic. You can either change the configuration within the traffic, or you can change the configuration on your own local machine. The reason what I was saying, because so I can show you. So
Yep, please.
so this is the build, right? So the way we so we ran this script. So this is Docker Composer with default image, and this is overriding those things. So you would go in the Docker, you will go in the build. Now for each, so let's say for the traffic. So this is for Solar. This is for reporting worker process, CD instance. So this is for .NET. So what I was trying to say, like you would definitely have an options where you can modify the default. That is the whole purpose of having the traffic. So so I just stop it. So uh, you would see somewhere here. Let me see. This is worker search collections. T Cortex. So there must be settings. Maybe I will let you know, or you have that options here, which in the traffic. So all the ports are configured here. So if I can see, so these are the all port. So there's option. You don't need to like there's no any hard code dependency. But I will let you know like where exactly you would change it. Does it?
All right. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah. Thank you.
Right.